All right, fastest 15 minutes in social media, fastest 15 minutes on the internet. My name is Judson Powell. All right, I'm just gonna kick it off here with Jerry Jones. All right, so we're gonna kick it off with Jerry Jones. 1957 was the year, and the number one song playing on every radio station in the nation was "Don't Let the Black Kids in the White School." That was the biggin that you show enough digging. Y'all know about that, right? Well, anyway, picture of Jerry Jones, and if you don't know who Jerry Jones is, he's the owner of the Dallas Cowboys, a billionaire. This man's a billionaire. In fact, I think he's like probably a multi-billionaire. I think there's the stadium alone, which was, of course, and this is the funny thing, just to throw a sidebar out there, all of these major sports arenas and stadiums and all of that, these things are all subsidized with government money, with your money. All right, not to say that y'all don't want that, but just, believe that that's where all the money to run these facilities come from. These people are not independently wealthy or whatever, whatever you want to call it, or self-made or anything like that, because anything could be further from the truth. But anyway, so let me go back. So Jerry Jones is in this 1957 photo of North Little Rock High School when it was in the process of being integrated. And of course, the wide-eyed, bushy-tailed Jerry Jones was in the picture with all these other kids. And there was the only kid that really stuck out to me, though, was the kid that was like in the front with the cigarette. If you go online and check it out, and you'll be like, well, he just looks so out of place. It's like this kid, this is not a kid. This is like a full-grown man or whatever. So I think he might have been the one that kind of incited the riot or whatever you want to call it. All right, but I'm not, don't hold me to that. Because I don't know the circumstances. And that's the problem with having like a picture or a photo or something like that, because you don't know, he might have just walked up there and the photog snapped her, and he might have turned and walked away, like a couple seconds later. So photography, and I know y'all, kill all the white people. I know everybody wants to get retribution and all of that for these things that happen throughout history. But the one thing about this is we don't know for sure unless we get somebody who will independently corroborate this story. And I know that there's somebody out there that wants some money. Like, who wants some money to tell People Magazine or whatever magazine is? I don't even read magazines anymore, but whatever magazine is out there that does this kind of thing, somebody, or TMZ, TMZ, I'm sure TMZ will give you some loot if you could, corroborate the story about what Jerry Jones was doing outside, blocking black children from entering North Little Rock High School in 1957. All right, so that little receipt is out there. The next thing that I want to talk about is gun control. Gun control, gun. I know I'm making a fool out of myself. It's National Kill Indigenous People Day after you break bread with them. You break bread with them, and then you send them on the Trail of Tears, right? That's what you do, right? Okay, I'm just throwing stuff out there. Okay, so but we gotta have this conversation in the United States of America, and the Second Amendment, once again, and as a constitutional scholar, I will let you know that the primary reason behind the Second Amendment was the fact that it was a new country, it was a new land. There was no police, there were no militias, there were no, there really wasn't anything. If you went out and you got a claim on some land, you had to sit there with a shotgun and defend your land against whoever, right? And everybody wasn't honest, and everybody wasn't forthright, So, and then as slowly as time evolved, then you started having systems of recording deeds and titles and all of that. And as that started to evolve, then it was a little bit different ball game. But when everybody first got here, it was just like every man for himself. So you had to have some way, shape, form, or fashion to protect yourself. So that was the whole thing, and they didn't want the government to be able to say, oh, well, you can't have, you can't have a gun or whatever. But here's the thing about that. The problem is that was the mentality at that time, right? It's not the mentality that we need right now. Every state has, the National Guard. Every state has, federal marshals. Every state has pretty much FBI, CIA, ATF. All of these different law enforcement agencies are out there, right? So there's no reason that people need these, especially these assault rifles. Now I can understand, if you got a pistol or something like that, maybe you have a business or something like that and you carry money or you move stuff around or, merchandise around. I get that. But you don't need an AR-15 or AK-47 used to be the old one. And the last time that we had a ban on assault weapons during a Democratic presidency under Bill Clinton, the thing was that everybody wanted to make sure we were safe. And and now that all of these things are starting to happen, I mean, it's one a day now. I was reading an article. I think it said there have been 800 mass shootings in the United States of America this year. And I think the latest one that was in Idaho, they still haven't caught where they killed. I think there's like 3 people that they killed there. They still haven't caught them as of this recording. So, I mean, what's up? We need to get these assault rifles. We need to get anything, these heavy magazines where you can load up 100 rounds of ammunition and all that kind of stuff. Don't nobody need that. Just like I saw this guy, he's like, why are you selling Kevlar? Why are you selling this bulletproof stuff? What does a normal person, I guess now you do need it, but what does a normal person walking around doing that need that for? It's not doing anything. I mean, what do you need it for? So that's, I guess those are the type of questions that we need to be asking ourselves. That doesn't need to, that's not for our protection. That's not to go hunting. You're not using this stuff to go hunting with. You use a shotgun for hunting or whatever, which is fair, because that's, at least giving the animal a little bit of a fair chance, right? A little bit of a fair chance. So I guess what I'm trying to say is that we need to definitely do something about all of the guns that are out here. And I'm mainly talking about the assault rifles. If you got a pistol, okay, fine. And then again, there's some pistols that aren't made for protection. They're just made for killing people. I mean, what are you gonna find? The only, like, if you got a gun in the city, the only thing you're using that gun for is either for protection or for crime. Only 2 uses. You're either using it for protection or you're using it for crime. The other thing is, I remember when I was younger in Detroit, and what they did there was they put in a gun law where it was like, if you commit a felony or if you do anything or if you could just get caught with a gun, right, during the commission of a felony or an unregistered gun or anything like that, right, it was an automatic 2-year sentence with no early release or nothing like that. You had to do every single day of it. And maybe we need something like that. That's the only thing I can think of. Maybe we do need something like that. And then that way, because that only punishes people that are criminals, that are trying to circumvent the law. And the other thing is, we need to do away with these laws where you can go and you can buy a weapon with no background check and walk out of the store with it that day. See, in several states that so happens to be the case. So if I can walk in the door at 9 o'clock when y'all open, and I can be out by 9:30, and I know what the naysayers are going to say. What the naysayers are going to say is they're going to say, well, that infringes on my rights. It infringes on my civil rights or whatever. These are, and don't get me wrong, these are the same people. The same people, right? They're talking about all these rights and everything like that, but no rights. The rights that are important are the ones that are being taken away. Nobody's really trying to take your guns. They're just trying to say, look, you don't need a machine gun. We'll let you have a gun to protect yourself, but it don't have to be a huge thing. And the real rights that are being taken away, as y'all know, that I talk about this all the time, but the real rights that are being taken away from you is your right to free speech and to free communication and all of that, and then you get these people, free speech, without, you can't just say anything you want without consequences and repercussions and all of that, right? That's, I get it. I get that. But by the same token, by me saying something, that shouldn't mean that I have to give up my entire livelihood. And that's what people are doing. Even the people, look, let me break it down a little more. Even the people that I don't agree with, what I do agree with is their rights to be able to say what they, because see, what you got to understand is the rights you take away from somebody else today, those will be the rights that will be taken away from you tomorrow. Trust and believe. Let me say it again. The rights that you take away from somebody today will be the rights that will be taken away from you in the future. See, we set some dangerous precedents, some dangerous standards, we do. And then when we come back, just like this whole thing, the whole thing with this, Supreme Court stuff and everything, the Republicans pulled one over. And because I was thinking about that, I was like, how in the world in this day and time could they possibly overturn Roe v. Wade? How could they possibly, take abortions and put them back in the back alleys and in the dark, crevices of old office buildings and stuff? And I'm not a woman, I'm never going to have to deal with that. Never. But the people that do, that's what leadership is about. You got to understand, how do the people that feel this way, or how do people that don't, and because there's a lot of people out there that don't trust the process, don't trust y'all at all. No way, shape, form, or fashion. Tons of people out there don't trust the government at all. And then and the thing is that the people that have money and influence, those are the people that are participatory in the government. And they're the ones that the government ends up working for. And then the rest of the people, hey, you just get chumped in where you get chumped in. That's the way it is. Fastest 15 minutes is up. My name is Justin Powell. Like button, subscribe button, buttons. Just hit buttons for me. Love y'all. Bye.